Hey everybody, Shane, Caitlin here, Team Severson, just coming to you. Our numbers are out. It's one of my favorite things to do throughout the month. I just love watching the numbers. I love seeing what we feel is going on in the market. If it's up, if it's down, we have a sense of what is happening, but I love when the numbers come out. I love to see, hey, is what is actually happening with the numbers what we're feeling? So I'm excited to come to you. I'm excited to talk about these numbers. So let's go through our March numbers that have come out. Our active listings were actually down 2.6%. So again, listings are down. That tells us a lot when our active listings and our month supply are down. We're down 2.6%. So this year we're at 4,384 homes that are active. Last year it was 4,499. So again, active listings are down, which means it pushes prices up. Our month supply is actually up 6.7%. So last year was 1.6, or this year is 1.6. Last year was 1.5. So we say 1.6%, but really, I mean, we're talking week, 2 weeks of houses. So really, it's not a huge deal. So there's not a lot of change in the month supply. As far as closed prices, this is a big number I'm watching. As rates are going up and the market seems to get soft, I've got rental properties. A lot of you have rental properties, own your own home. I really watch this to see, are we making money? Is the market dropping? What's going on? So this is a big one I always watch and see as it seems to get soft. Are we going up or down? And our close price is actually up 3.7%. So throughout history, we average about 6% appreciation. So we are lower than your average. We're not seeing anything like we saw over the last 2-3 years. But if we're growing 3, 4, 5%, we're still at a pretty good increase, and I feel really good about that. And so 24 this year in March, our average price was $776,947. Last year was $749,105. So that's kind of where we're at. We're up a good $20,000, almost $30,000 a year for our average price. So you can tell it's growing. Caitlin, what are we seeing out there? What are you seeing? Caitlin is very active with our buyers. She's actually very, very active right now, staying pretty busy.
Yes, it's been kind of crazy.
Yeah. So she's helping all our sellers and she's doing an awesome job. So what are we seeing out there in the market right now?
As you guys know, we are constantly tracking numbers. We're trying to track history to make sure that we understand the market very well. And I think we were a little nervous this year because at the very beginning of April, which is usually when it starts picking up, it was pretty slow and pretty soft market. And I think we were a little nervous because we had a lot of listings coming up. And then all of a sudden we had some listings come up and 2 of them like flew off the market within just a couple of days of them being active. Another one of ours, I think we got about 3 or 4 offers on it. And so it is getting hot. It is getting intense. Buyers are starting to get in. Even with rates being high, I know it's still scary. I know that's still intimidating. Buyers are still wanting homes. And so I think that's kind of what I've been seeing is it's getting hot.
Yeah, I think we did get a little nervous, wondering if rates were going to affect the market more than normal. But here's the deal, guys, and I know a lot of people question me on this and say, ooh, is it going to be the peak this year and is it going to go up? It goes up every year. Like it almost has to go up, right? Because people are moving for kids. They're moving to get kids in school. Like that's when people buy. So even though rates do affect it, the peak and the buyers come out when it's time to start moving, when their kids are getting out of school, when you're thinking about that. So it happens every year. We were a little nervous this year, like, oh my gosh, what are we experiencing? We had some listings on, not much activity, and then all of a sudden it went bonkers. Houses flying paying off. I think every house we have, most of them have backup offers.
Yeah.
We've had people reach out and say, "Will you do a backup to a backup?" So you can tell it's pretty crazy right now. And here's one thing I'll say on that is I always say if you're working with agents that aren't as experienced or not as busy, it's hard for them to track the market. You'll hear from people saying the market's up or the market's down, but it's really, really hard to track that if you don't have much business. And I would say we do go through seasons where we don't have as many listings as other seasons, obviously with the swings, and some of those times it's kind of a guessing game. Like, I think this is what's happening, but I'm not sure. But I'm telling you, we have a lot of listings right now, a lot of activity, and we know what's going on in the market because we're out there with buyers and we're trying to bid, and we got listings. It's pretty good. What do you think about interest rates, Caitlin? Rates are up. It looks like rates are going to stay up, and I know that's not what any of us want to hear, but our job is to educate. What do you think of these rates? What do we do? What do buyers do?
I mean, there are so many options for you. I just talked to one of our really good lenders that we've used for 20 years probably, and he was like, these are high rates. They're still kind of going up a little, but there's so many options. There's 2-1 buy downs. There's a permanent buy down. There are so many options for buyers at this moment in time. And surprisingly, I think sellers are expecting buy downs because like we had one of our clients, I had to talk to her and say, here's the deal. This one is asking for a buy down above ask price, but the next one, they're still going to ask for a buy down probably at list price. So we have to be very strategic. But for buyers, there are so many options for you for buy downs.
Yeah, we were talking to our lender and we were looking at, you could do a permanent buy down, like just literally a seller will literally just pay for those rates to be lowered. And we were talking to our lender about those options for one of our listings, and we were ready to pay that for one of ours. And so when we had talked, we were still going to be in the 5s. So you could probably literally buy a house today in the high 5s or 6. 2-1 buy downs are awesome options. If you don't know much about 2-1 buy downs, I won't bore everybody on this video, but reach out to Caitlin or I. That's our job, is to break that down. The point being, if you're looking at a house right now and you think rates are too high, I can't buy, 2 things. One is, they may not come down for a while. So, if you just keep waiting, prices just keep growing. If you waited from last year for rates to drop, you just lost almost $30,000 because of a couple $500-600 in a payment. And I understand you can't make that monthly payment, but there are options to get those rates down, get that down so that you can afford it. Don't lose $30,000 to save yourself a couple $100. We can get around the couple $100 and make the seller pay. So I hope that helps. If you are a buyer, reach out to us. We would like to talk about options. It may not be the right time today to buy, but it's so important to get education and understand what you're looking at and plan and strategize. So reach out. We've got a couple buyers that are looking to get in the market, and we're kind of strategizing when we should do that. So reach out if you're a buyer. If you are a seller, I don't know how to stress this enough. You got about 3.5 months of that peak. If you reach out in 2 months, you may miss it. We got to prep your house. We got to get everything ready. We got to declutter your home. Like, I don't know how to stress it. I'm not selling you. I'm just telling you, you got to call us today, tomorrow, in the next month. Like, now is the time, or you're going to miss the peak and you could lose 30 grand, 40 grand. So reach out now if you're a seller. And if you're an investor, it's always a good time. That's why I love real estate. It's always a good time to invest. If you're buying rentals, figure out when that is. You could be buying flips. You could be buying other strategies. So reach out. Now is the time to invest. People are making a lot of money. We got a lot of flips going. They're making money, and they're doing pretty well. So I hope that helps. God bless. We'll see you next month.